Good morning. It is the Lord's Day, and I hope everybody is doing well. I hope everybody's had a great week. If not, let's try to have a better week next week on purpose. You know, this morning's lesson is going to come from Genesis chapter 4, and we're going to concentrate on the verses which we're going to talk about verses 6 through 9 specifically. But you have to understand a little bit of the background of this. This is the chapter where Cain kills Abel because Abel's sacrifice was accepted and his wasn't. But even though God gave him a chance to do it again, just like He gives us a chance to get it right, He gives us every day He gives us another chance to make the right decisions and do the right things and say the proper things. But Cain had the wrong attitude, and that led to the wrong attitude and his response when he spoke to God. Or should I say when God spoke to him? It was a good question, but it was a bad answer. So let's go ahead and jump into it. We're gonna start a little bit before verse 6 so we can get on up there to it. And then we're gonna stop a little bit here, there, and we're gonna explain that. Let's go. It says in verse 6. Actually, we're going to go verse 5. It says, "But Cain, and to his offering he had not respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell." In verse 6, "And the Lord said unto Cain, Why art thou wroth," or angry? Why is thy countenance fallen? His attitude, his disposition had fallen. He says, "If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted?" In other words, he's simply saying, look, man, if you do well, if you do it the right way, it's going to be accepted. "And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door." So basically, if he doesn't go back and fix this problem, there's sin that lieth at the door. Because we know that God can see the hearts of man. We know that He knows what's coming before you do it. He gives you a choice, but He knows the answer, what's going to happen if you choose either which way that you go. That being said, He's knowing, well, Cain, if you just go back and you just do the sacrifice the way I want you to do it, by my direction, it's going to be accepted. Everything's going to be okay. But if you don't, He knows that Cain is going to do something he has no business doing. And he's going to commit a sin. And like I said, it's the first murder. That being said, let's see what Cain does. And it says, "And unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him." Well, that's what's going to happen when he commits the sin. That sin's going to rule over him. He's going to become a servant to that sin when he commits it. But if you remember back, that was the same last words those were some of the same words that God told his mother Eve in the threefold curse, after when God handed out the punishment. And that's what she said about her desire is going to be to thy husband, and he's going to rule over thee. And now here, the next generation, their offspring, he's telling them the same thing. It's going to rule over you. No matter how much you don't want to accept it, but your sin's going to rule over you if you serve sin. So let's go a little further. "And Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him." Now, we haven't read anything where Abel was provoking him, where he called him a name, disrespected him. We haven't read anything about that. All we know is, from scripture here, is that Cain killed Abel because of his attitude, that Abel's sacrifice was accepted and his wasn't. Now, we haven't read that Abel took a shot at him. He didn't swing on him. He didn't hit him. He didn't cuss him. He didn't spit on him. All he simply did was do right. And let me stop right here for a second. Understand something. When you do right, you're going to offend other people. When you do right, that's going to highlight the fact that they didn't do it themselves. Because understand this, light is going to make darkness run away. And it's going to expose what was done in the darkness. A lot of people in this, while you're on your Christian journey, they're not going to like the fact that you're striving to do what God has told you to do, the way he told you to do it. But rather than do it themselves, they mad at you because you're doing what's right. And oftentimes that could provoke someone to try to harm you, to hurt you, to say hurtful things. Oh, you one of those Christians. You one of the ones that believe the Bible. Oh, you're one of the ones that's going to do what it says, how it says, when it says. Yes, that's the answer. That's what we have to say. Yes, I am that. Yes, I am a Christian. Yeah, I may make mistakes, but yes, I am a Christian, and I'm striving to do what the Lord has said in his word to the best of my ability, the way he's written it. And they're going to be upset about that because they don't want to do it themselves. When they have the same opportunity, they can go get a Bible just like yours, and they can read it and they can apply it, but it's their choice. And if they choose not to, that's not your problem, that is their problem. But at the same time, that can't be something that just holds you as an individual back, meaning you can't help if they're doing wrong. You can tell them, you can show them, but it's up to them whether they do what's right. Let's go a little further. This is where I wanted to get to. Verse number 9. And the Lord said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? And then he says, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? Well, here. Now we know that we're supposed to be our brother's keeper. We know that we're supposed to look upon things of others better than ourselves. We know that because it says that in Philippians chapter 2, verses 3 and 4. Let's read that right quick. Then we'll go back to Genesis. Let's see here. Philippians chapter 2, it says, let nothing be done, Philippians chapter 2, verse 3 and 4. Verse 3, let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem others better than themselves. Look not on every man on his own things, but every man also the things of others. Well, the key here is, this is talking about humility. Let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind. Vainglory, you got to understand, sin originates from three things: lust of the eyes, lust of the flesh, or the pride of life. You want the pride of life, you want the glory for yourself instead of giving God the glory. And that's what drives a lot of people to commit sin, because they didn't get the glory they thought that they should have gotten. Or they only want the glory. They don't think that they should give God the glory. Or they don't feel like they should, hey, look, I'm going to rejoice with my friends or my brother or my sister when they have succeeded or been blessed. They don't want to rejoice in that. That makes them envious to see others get blessed or be successful in whatever they're doing. That's a problem that we often suffer with. It's just because somebody else got blessed doesn't mean it's going to stop yours. Just because somebody else's light shines doesn't mean yours is dim. But if you want to make it happen and you want your light to shine so forth before men, that means you're going to have to do some work yourself. Nobody's going to do it for you, which is simply what Cain could have done. He could have went back and did it the right way. And then God would have said, hey, your stuff is accepted. Your sacrifice is accepted. Let's go on back over there and finish this thing up. Now it says, and he said, I know not, am I my brother's keeper? Well, let's just look at this here. Number one, right here in this conversation, God asked him a question he already knew the answer to. He knew that he had killed Cain. Cain had killed Abel. So now he lies to him. Like, I don't know. I don't know where he is, God. And then he goes, with this smart, sarcastic attitude, he gives a statement to God. Am I my brother's keeper? That was as if to say, God, you the one who made him. I didn't ask to be his keeper. Why I got to keep up with him? Why do I have to keep up with him? I didn't know that was my job. But what God was looking for was his confession of the truth. What he should have said, yeah, God, I know, yes, sir, I know where he is because I've killed him. I took his life. But instead, he's going to deflect that and make sure am I my brother's keeper? He's trying to get away from just confessing the truth. But how often do we do the same thing? How often, instead of just saying, yeah, I messed up. Yeah, I did something I shouldn't have done. I said something I shouldn't have did. How often do we want to put the blame, we want to shift it and deflect that off of us and onto someone else or on something else? How often do we do that? But God can't offer forgiveness until he repents. It means he's got to confess that he's done something. How are we stopping our forgiveness because we won't simply admit the truth? Are we doing that? That being said, let's go a little further. We're going to wrap this thing up. And he says, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth from the ground. Well, God already knew the truth anyway. Now, here's the sentence. He's about to sentence him now. He's letting him know, no, Cain, look, man, I know you're lying. I know you're lying. Because your brother's blood cries from the ground. There will always be a way that the truth is going to come out. That's just the way God designed this thing. And today I urge you to have the attitude, not as Cain did, but as Abel did. Do what's right the first time. Yeah, you might make some mistakes, but try your best to do what's right the first time. And yes, we are our brother's keeper. We're supposed to look out for him, and he's supposed to look out for us. Yes, that doesn't often happen, or oftentimes that doesn't happen. But you as an individual, me as an individual, we know that we're supposed to do right no matter what, regardless of what anybody else does. I hope this message has encouraged you. I hope this message helps somebody. And I'll see y'all hopefully on Tune Up Tuesday if I don't have any technical difficulties. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Talk to y'all later.